Hey, good morning guys. Another beautiful morning out here. Starting to feel a lot more like fall. It's awesome. I love it. Cows are getting ready to move out of this front pasture, so you guys know I put them in the backyard and let them graze the backyard for a little bit. I only got about 2 days out of it. I didn't get 3 days out of it like I hoped that I would, but that's all right. So I actually set up the first strip in the back pasture, and I'm going to do things a little differently this time around because I'm still in that grazing mode where I want them to take just the tips, just the top of the grass, and then move them along so I can get a lot of regrowth the rest of this fall. This is essentially, I'm hoping our second to last time through each of these pastures. So should only be one more time through this front pasture, and then I'm going to start the second to last rotation through that back pasture. One thing I'm going to do different this time, I'm going to widen out their strips, and I'm going to use a lot more cross fences. So it's going to be still about 2,000 square feet for the morning move, 2,000 square feet for the afternoon move, so 4,000 square feet a day total each day. But I'm not going to back fence. They're going to have a lot wider of an area. This would be more like block grazing or cell grazing, some people call it. So not narrow strips. And they're gonna have about 3 days in each strip, so they can still go back to some of the stuff that they were on the days before. They're not going to regraze it. As long as we're within about 3 days, that grass plant is not going to start regrowing. So if they do happen to go back through and regraze it, they're not going to do any damage to the grass plant. Plus, the stuff back there is actually really, really good, and it's thinner than like what I get in the spring or going into summer. But everything's fully recovered. Have a lot of good legumes, a lot of good clover. We're actually starting to get a lot more alfalfa in that back pasture too, which this is the first year that I've really seen it take off, and I haven't seeded it or anything, so that's all just the cows doing. So it's a lot of good stuff back there. So I don't worry about them going back into the blocks that they had grazed before and eating, because everything in front of them is going to be so good. So but I was setting stuff up yesterday to get ready for this morning, and some of you guys might know I basically have to get them into a trail. I kind of snake them down that trail and get them into that back pasture. And the last time they were in the trail was, well, what's today? I'll have to look. So I got 27 days out of this front pasture, which actually sounds about right. That's kind of what I thought I was going to get. Like I said, I was hoping for 30 to kind of push me into starting in October. But because the chickens had moved through this pasture, they ate up a pretty good amount. They kind of knocked down the available forage that we normally get. So 27 days, not bad at all. So I'm hoping, like I said, at least 30 days out of that back pasture. But so where I was going with that, it's been 27 days since they grazed the grass on the trail, because when I brought them out of the lease property next door, I basically put them on this trail for about half a day while I got stuff situated up here. And so that grass has actually recovered pretty well in 27 days. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to get them into the mud lot. I'm going to get them into the trail, and then I'm going to let them graze that trail for probably the first half of today. Later on in this video, you might see me actually move them into the back pasture, and it's hopefully going to be this afternoon for their afternoon move. So they're definitely ready. They were kind of yelling and screaming at me yesterday. I think they would have been totally fine moving yesterday. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of diversity in this backyard where they're at now, so it was just a lot of straight grass, and it's getting pretty short. We've actually had some pretty hot temps, so it was browning up quite a bit. So they're looking forward to moving. Suppose we should get it done. Come on, girls. Hey, girls. Hey, girls. Come on, girls. Come Come on, buddy. Hey, bud. So hopefully they'll graze this stuff for a while and be happy. Pretty decent growth. Like I said, this electric wire that I've got to kind of keep them in this lane is not charged at all. So if they get rambunctious or, you know, this doesn't last them as long as I hoped, if I'm not watching, they could easily bust out of here. I'm gonna get the chickens moved. They're gonna be heading to the processor here in about 2 weeks. So I only have about 2 more weeks worth of chicken chores to do, which I'm pumped about. And yeah, then like I said, I'll pick this video up, back up when it comes time to move them into the official strip. Icelandic sea kelp. That's my secret to super delicious, healthy chicken. In case anyone's wondering, this is kind of a snapshot of the grass from about 27 days ago. So this is the first couple strips. This area of the pasture, that's the first couple strips. It's exploded. Now, still a lot of square tips on some of this stuff, but man, it's thick. You know, we had one decent good. We had one decent rainstorm, provided a lot of rain, and then another just kind of little rainstorm after that. But I think just the weather turning and, like I said, grazing this stuff really tall, leaving it really tall, and getting off of it very quickly has helped. That and the chickens. I mean, actually, this area we're looking at right now, you could call was grazed 2 times in the last 27 days because the chickens moved through here right before the cows got on it. And so this stuff has been eaten down and trampled by the chickens, and then eaten down and trampled by the cows. And I don't know, you guys might be able to tell just kind of what stuff looks like when the chicken tractors come off of it. If anyone's curious, you know, this obviously is fresh grass, fresh pasture, stuff that hasn't been trampled and eaten by the chickens. And then you get into this, and you can clearly see chicken tractor 1, chicken tractor 2 kind of moving their way down, and it gets less and less pronounced as we get, you know, as we get more days rest. And so the chicken manure absolutely has something to do with the fact that the grass is exploding and kind of bouncing back really, really strong. So, I mean, you can see just, you know, this is what the chickens leave. They smash it down, they trample it down, they eat a bunch of it, they eat a bunch of grass and clover, and then leave chicken nuggets everywhere, and they end up getting worked into the soil, and it makes the grass grow back really, really nicely. So it's just, stuff's gonna be ready to graze again in no time. Great fall stockpile. And I don't know if anyone is interested in the whole chicken side of things that I'm doing out here, but just a quick update. If you guys remember that brooder video that I put out, I kind of talked about how I was changing my tactic, something that Joel Salatin talked about in his book, with not cleaning out the brooder bedding in between batches. And I had done that in the years past, and I had done that with the first 2 batches this year, and ended up losing anywhere from 2 to 3 chicks per batch, just random death. You know, I'd come out in the morning or come out later in the day and there'd be a dead one there. I didn't clean out the brooder bedding this time around, going from my 2nd batch to my 3rd batch, and I didn't lose any chicks. So I don't know, you know, obviously there's a whole multitude of things that might be responsible for that, but I think from here on out, in the coming years, I'm definitely not going to clean out the brooder bedding and replace the brooder bedding in between each batch of chicks. I also haven't lost as many on pasture this batch. So I had a problem with raccoons for a little bit. I had to kind of beef up the PVC tractor because the raccoons could get their little hands in there, yank on the chickens. So that was fun. That was a fun few mornings, coming out and finding dismembered chickens. But so I got that kind of taken care of. I haven't had a predator problem since, but I've lost 1 in this batch, so I'm at 49. So again, could be the time of year, could be the weather, could be just the batch, right? I mean, the certain hatch from each hatchery is going to have its own set of problems. So this could just be a low problem hatch group. So yeah, I think that one I lost was just due to a heart attack. I mean, there was no obvious reason why it was dead. It was just dead in the morning when I came out. So all females. Last batch was all females, and I'd say they averaged about, in 8 weeks, they averaged about, I'd say we had, the majority of the chickens were 6 to 6.5 pounds. I was really hoping to keep them at like max 5.5 pounds. 4.5 to 5 pounds would be ideal. I was hoping that I could still run the chickens for 8 weeks, but being all female, that their weights would stay down. But they got a little bit heavier, which is all right. You know, just the way we market them and the way we sell them, it's obviously, we obviously list them as a price per pound basis, but we actually, we put a cap. I think next year I'm gonna do all females again, and I'm probably gonna set a butcher date for 7 weeks and kind of see what that gets me weight wise. It's gonna be good. Plus it just kind of signifies, you know, winter's coming. Stuff's winding down. Fall's really gonna start picking up here. Harvest is going on in my area, which is awesome. Any of you guys out there that are farmers, you know, good luck this year. Be safe. Hopefully it's a great yielding year for you guys. Come on, girls. Hey, girls. Girl. All right, officially starting the second to last rotation of this back pasture. Hopefully second to last rotation. But there are a lot more thin spots than normal just because we had a pretty dry August, and September was very dry as well. So we're getting ready to go into October here. So hopefully we get some good moisture in October, some good grass growing weather in October. Definitely have a little heat wave going on today and tomorrow, and actually the next couple of days. The flies have gotten really bad. I'm sure the camera's picking that up. You can probably see that. Flies have gotten bad. Lots of hatching going on, and it's about 91 right now. Humidity's low, so it's not horrible, but definitely doesn't feel like fall. I hear guys up the hill over the timber up there. I hear guys running combines up there. Just doesn't feel like harvest weather yet, but 90 today, 90 tomorrow, very high, like 88, 89 degrees for the next couple days after that. And then they're saying we're getting a little storm cell work its way through, and then it's going back down to the 70s. Even some days in the upper 60s, which is going to be awesome. Our low last night, crazy, was 43 degrees. It got down to 43 degrees last night, 91 degrees today. So this is that period of time that you do kind of worry about your cattle health, just because those huge swings in temperature, you know, just like how it affects us humans, you know, 43 degrees, and then a short time later it's 91 degrees. Just that jump in temperature can make them sick. So if they're not 100% on their nutrition, or there's something else going on, you know, this is the time of year that it really starts to show it. So making sure they stay well fed, and making sure they stay up on their vitamins and minerals and supplements, and they're going to get enough protein in this stuff. It's very green, like I said, lots of alfalfa's popping up, lots of clover. This frost aster, which if you've seen some of my last couple previous videos, you probably saw them attacking it pretty good. I didn't highlight it. This white flower here, frost aster, they love this stuff, and it's pretty high in protein. So just getting some alfalfa.
Well, if you have any questions or anything you guys want to see, let me know. I'll try and get them answered. Thanks for watching, guys.